For many communities in America, armed criminals and violent crime are still the norm, and we cannot accept this as the status quo. That is why the department remains committed to driving down violent crime, including through the vigorous prosecution of firearms offenses. I've been glad to see that the prosecutions under 922G are at an all-time high. We need to maintain our focus on getting illegal guns off the streets and out of the hands of violent criminals. As you all know, we also cannot reduce violent crime without confronting the role of gangs and other criminal organizations. Working with our state and local partners, we must keep sustained pressure on these groups, which are the primary drivers of violent crime.
Man, I was supposed to go at these chairs out, man. That's what I was supposed to do.
Call mobs, the coffin boy, all mobs gon' get destroyed. Swear this shit gon' leave a mark. We pull strings like lead guitar. We hop out with shit that you ain't seen before. I got to get up close, cause I couldn't see from far. The cops outside, let's creep tomorrow.
I've been glad to see that the prosecutions under 922G are at an all-time high.
This man was charged with 5 attempted murders and was sentenced to 20 to 40 years. He appealed the sentence and got it reduced. When he got out, he attended classes at Rutgers University, participated in youth programs, and was preparing to turn his life around. Now, he's serving time in the feds after being indicted by a federal grand jury. What went wrong? This is Jeezy Low, or Jeez, a man the feds accused of being a part of the Pit Boys, or the Pit. And the feds use Instagram posts and other technology to help put him away. Unfortunately, this is a tale of bad decisions and wasted opportunity.
And now to a developing story. We are learning new details about the mysterious and brutal murder of a man in South Philadelphia. Police exploring several leads tonight. Our Kelly Rule joining us live now with the very latest. Kelly.
Well, Dawn, we just heard from the captain of homicide just a few minutes ago. They were actively pursuing one lead that had to do with the fact that DeSero might have won the lottery recently. Police say he was shot 3 times and might have been stabbed, beaten, and burned. They are now investigating the possibility someone tortured him. Fox 29 obtained a video of DeSero just before, showing him walk away from his running Jeep, double parked near 13th and Bigler, and is seen getting into another car.
Rumors swirled on the streets that Francis had recently won over $1 million in lottery proceeds. How true that is, I'm not sure, but it was rumor enough for the news to mention it. From Fox 29, quote, investigators originally following a lead that DeSero might have been targeted over recent lottery winnings, according to a source. Police Captain Jason Smith did not completely dismiss the lead, but he told Fox 29 that investigators coordinated with lottery officials and found no record of DeSero winning. I was able to find a Francis D winning $1,000 in January of 2022, so there's that. However, this story isn't about Francis DeSero or his lottery winnings. It's about Jeezy Low, who the feds say is a member of the Pit, a gang in West Philly that was allegedly responsible for the ridiculous incident from August of 2022, in which police found 5 people between the ages of 17 and 25 suffering from gunshot wounds at a playground in West Philly after over 100 shots were fired by alleged Pit members.
And I only rap on Sundays. Freedom, free the 100 shot game. Drop 100 shot, nigga, free the 100 shot. Free the 100 shot game. 100 shot. He got hit with drapes and now he flying across the street. How the fuck he still alive when his brain was on his street? Free the 100 shot game. I'ma shoot until he free.
We're starting tonight with breaking news. A wild scene in West Philadelphia. Multiple people shot. At least 2 are critical, and one of them just a teenager. This is the 10 o'clock news. I'm Sheepa Russell.
I'm Jason Martinez. There were more than 90 shots fired. Let's get right into it. Shawnette, what are you learning tonight?
Well, Jason and Sheba, you mentioned wild, but I tell you what, to people who live in this neighborhood, to people who play in this neighborhood, it is absolutely terrifying. I don't know that wild actually describes what people feel who live here. As you mentioned, 4 people shot. We know that 2 have been shot in the head and are in critical condition at this hour. I'll step aside so you can take a look behind me at one end of the crime scene here. This is at 57th and Haverford. What you're looking at, you can see an evidence marker here on the ground, 98 evidence markers placed on this stretch here on 57th Street. Police telling us that at least 4 guns found out here, semi-automatic weapons and rifle rounds on the scene. The amount of people out in the area tonight when this happened, as I said, just terrifying. Nearly 100 shots fired on 57th Street between Haverford and Westminster tonight. A sea of evidence markers line this West Philly street, telling of the potentially deadly chaos that unfolded here. Police say around 6:52 tonight, an officer on patrol heard gunshots near Shepherd Playground and saw a car fleeing, 4 males getting in. They chased the car, which crashed on the 200 block of Farson Street. Police say a suspect ran into a house and 3 were in the car with guns in it. Other responding officers found 4 victims on 57th Street. 2 shot in the head in critical condition tonight and 2 others in stable condition, shot in the neck, shoulder, and hand area. Police say 2 of them have gun permits. 1 victim, we're told, in a BMW is an innocent bystander caught in gunfire and shot in the shoulder. All while kids and young adults were on a nearby playground. Football practice happening, just a very active area.
It's very, very troubling. I mean, the fact that there was this many rounds fired, regardless of whether there was a playground or not, anywhere at any time, it's obviously people are in danger, sometimes the intended target, but obviously innocent victims as well. And it is frightening. I mean, it shouldn't be happening, and it's something that obviously we work every day to try to suppress.
We have to stand up to be able to get these degenerates off these streets, and we got to make sure when we have people in our communities firing as many shots as they fired here with multiple guns, that they're held accountable and they're put in jail and they're kept in jail for a long time.
All right, and back here, another live look at the scene here, the far end there at Westminster. You can see the bulk of the evidence markers there. Police telling us at last report that 3 of the 4 suspects are in custody, telling me that 1 fled on foot. And tonight they do need the community's help. It is unclear whether there are more suspects out there. Again, at this hour, police do not have a motive. And just to point out again, Sheba, officers on routine patrol in this area tonight came across this, heard the gunfire, and saw these suspects fleeing, doing their job tonight, but very much in the line of danger as well.
And breaking.
Now, this incident has nothing to do with Jeezy. I figure I'd bring it up because of its relationship with the Pit. The Pit's name comes up a lot in West Philly drama. They have rappers like Zai Benji, Hood Famous J, and OTP Kill. Here, you see Jeezy Low in Hood Famous J's video for the song called Sandwich. And here is Jeezy Low next to OTP Kill explaining that he didn't win the Pennsylvania lottery for almost $2 million as he had been claiming online for the previous few days.
Hey gang.
What's up?
I ain't win no lottery ticket, bro. This shit was all big, gang. I ain't even gonna lie, like.
Hold up. You playing?
Hey bro. Yeah, hey bro, look, this how this shit went, bro.
Hold up, bro. Hold up. I saw you on the green, you posted like 20 bands. You was giving out bread. What you mean you ain't win the lottery?
The 20 grand, that shit, that's been established. Like, that shit was before the whole rumor, all that shit. And giving the stack out, that's like, I mean, I'm a charitable boy anyway, you feel me? I like to give out my, you feel me? At least like other just reap what I sow, if that's the case. But I was on the tip like, man, just to keep it going. Like, the whole situation was my homie tagged me. You see what I'm saying? My homie tagged me on the gram. And that's how we play. Like, we be betting like that. So he tagged me like, you know, I run with it. I'm running with it.
The way Francis DeCero's life ended is crazy to think someone would pump fake about winning the lottery. It sounded like Jeezy immediately regretted it.
All of a sudden, I see a gillion motherfuckers come out the woodworks. Motherfuckers that owe me cheese, calling me, yo, big bro, you the ticket. You bro,
What the bitches are saying?
Bro, I'm getting calls. I'm like, unknown numbers calling me, calling me. I said, who that? She talking about, yo, I'll love you. Why you leave? Why you don't fuck me? I'm like, yo, The one buddy she called and she talking about, yo, you with your friend Kill? She said, I'm a mop him up just cause he your friend.
Yo.
Somebody called me the other day talking about, I don't want your 1.8 million. Can you cash at me $20? So I'm like, this shit was like a preview of what it's like to really make it. You see what I'm saying? And this shit was like became like a social experiment. You feel me? I'm like.
Now, the average person would never put themselves in harm's way and pretend they won the lottery. Something like that would draw the attention from all the wrong people for all the wrong reasons. We've all heard the stories of lottery winners being killed for their earnings. In fact, 5 months after this interview with Philly Billboard is when Francis DeCero was brutally murdered. And the rumors of lottery winnings being involved is wild. If you ask Jeezy Low why he did the fake lottery stunt, he would say it was promotion for the guys. He thought the clout would transfer over to their music, as he claimed to be managing for the guys that were rapping at the time, like OTP Kill and Hood Famous Jay. I distinctly remember seeing videos of Jay and G's in the car around this time in 2022 and pretending they won the lottery. The comments were filled with people warning of how dangerous a game they were playing for clout. Unbeknownst to Jeezy Low in the pit, regular folks at home in the comments weren't the people they needed to be worried about, because much more dangerous people would be watching his social media activities in 2022. On October 4th, 2022, in a federal courtroom in the Eastern District, a motion for pretrial detention was held. It was in the case of the United States of America versus Arjan Benning or Jeezy Low. In that motion, the feds were arguing to keep Jeezy locked up before his trial. They argued that on June 12, 2022, 2 Philadelphia police officers were on patrol near 228 North Paxson Street in West Philadelphia, an address where the Pit Boys are known to congregate. Officer Perez spotted G's on the sidewalk speaking with another man. Officer Perez knew about G's prior convictions and his affiliation with the Pit Boys. He saw G stop speaking mid-sentence and look at him nervously as the officers drove past, and he saw a large bulge in the groin area of G's pants that looked like a firearm. Officer Canella got out of the patrol car and walked up to G's. Officer Canella also saw a bulge in the groin area of G's pants as he approached, and he asked the defendant, G's, if he had a license to carry, pointing to G's waistband. G said no and added, I don't got nothing on me. Officer Canella asked G's where he lived. G's said he lived in Chester Springs and offered to show Officer Canella his identification. G's then retrieved his driver's license from his car, a 2017 Nissan Murano with Pennsylvania license plates. Officer Canella attempted to run G's license using the officer's mobile data terminal. The officers observed G's trying to conceal the bulge in his groin area, including by hunching over while walking and slouching over while sitting on a retaining wall. After Officer Canella informed Officer Perez that the machine was down, Officer Perez patted G's waistband area and immediately felt an object that felt like a firearm. Officer Perez went to grab the firearm from G's waistband, and G's slapped his hand away and ran. The officers ran after him for a few yards, took him to the ground, and recovered the firearm from inside his pants. The officers discovered G's was wearing 2 pairs of tight-fitting underwear underneath his tight-fitting jeans, a tactic commonly used by criminal suspects to securely carry and conceal a firearm in their groin or waistband area. After being charged with firearm offenses at the state level, the charges were then picked up by the feds, and G's was indicted by a federal grand jury on September 27, 2022, with violating Statute 922G for being a felon in possession of a firearm. The feds continued to argue for G's pretrial detention by saying, unfortunately, this incident was not G's first contact with law enforcement. The feds then introduced as evidence his prior convictions of the 5 aggravated assaults that we spoke of earlier. They argued that since he is a repeat offender and his family has access to money, that he's a flight risk. What the feds are talking about here is that back in 2015, Jeezy was arrested for his participation in the shooting. On September 4th, 2015, Jeezy was arrested and charged with 5 counts of attempted murder, among other offenses, for his role in a gang-related shooting. A young man and 2 young women, all aged 19 or younger, were wounded by multiple shooters in a black SUV on the night of July 21st, 2015. The 2 women were holding babies, a 1-year-old and a 6-month-old, who narrowly escaped gunfire. One of the victims had seen Jeezy driving the same black SUV before the shooting. A search of Jeezy's phone later revealed that he had tracked one of the victims on Twitter to determine his location. He had the same victim's school roster on his phone, too. Shortly after the shooting, Jeezy found a news article about the shooting and sent it to a contact in his text messages. When that person replied, "Who y'all hit?" Jeezy identified the victims. A day later, Jeezy was targeted but unharmed in a related shooting. The shooter admitted to police that he targeted Jeezy in retaliation for the July 21st, 2015 shooting. Jeezy's mom is a white lady from West Philly and his dad is from India. His father is a doctor and his parents are well off. In fact, his parents don't even live in Philly, according to sources. They are from out in Chester Springs somewhere. Every time his bail was like $500,000 to $600,000, his parents were right there to pay it. It was his grandmom that was in West Philly and why he visited Philly so frequently. He would regularly come down on the weekends and be around the guys from near 49th Street and was known as one of the members. He comes from hardworking parents who tried to steer him in the right direction, but the pull of the streets was just too strong for Jeezy to resist. The feds continued to argue in the motion that Jeezy was a danger by saying, following the 2015 shooting incident, while awaiting trial, Jeezy was arrested again. On June 26, 2016, while out on bail, officers observed Jeezy adjusting what seemed to be a firearm in his waistband. When they identified themselves to Jeezy, he ran away. During the ensuing chase, the officers apprehended Jeezy and found a stolen black Kel-Tec P11 9mm pistol loaded with 8 live rounds of ammunition on him. Jeezy later pled guilty to 5 counts of aggravated assault, conspiracy to commit aggravated assault, and 2 counts each of carrying a firearm without a license and carrying a firearm in public in Philadelphia. He was sentenced in May of 2017 to 20 to 40 years imprisonment, followed by 20 years probation. Jeezy appealed his sentence. His sentence was later reduced to 11.5 to 23 months confinement and 10 years probation by Judge Means. While on probation, he was ordered not to have any contact with the Pit Boys and to attend college. Jeezy's submissions over the course of his probation indicated that he did attend classes and participated in internships and other programs at Rutgers University and elsewhere. Although state prosecutors informed the probation office that Jeezy was seen in a video with members of the Pit Boys in January of 2020 while on probation, the sentencing court terminated Jeezy's probation on August 30th, 2021. Yet, Jeezy's criminal activity did not stop there. Within months, Jeezy was posting pictures and videos of himself illegally possessing firearms with other members of the Pit Boys. Although Jeezy has deleted many such pictures and videos from his social media since his most recent arrest, police officers familiar with Jeezy and the Pit Boys have preserved several examples. For instance, the following screenshots from an October 31st, 2021 post on Jeezy's Instagram account show the defendant in black tights with a visible outline of a firearm in his waistband. In addition, a January 4th, 2022 Instagram live video shows the defendant lifting his shirt to reveal a firearm in his waistband, while other Pit Boys flash firearms on camera as seen in the following screenshots. The defendant's history on pretrial release reflects repeated failures to follow court-ordered conditions. Following his arrest for the 2015 shooting, the defendant was released before trial on $5 million bail, or $500,000. He was arrested while on pretrial release for unlawfully possessing a firearm. Following his most recent arrest in June of 2022, Jeezy was released on $500,000 bond. In that case, the court ordered on July 29, 2022, that the defendant may only return to Philadelphia to attend court or to meet his attorney. The defendant was also subject to other conditions, including that he must refrain from criminal activity. However, a federal investigation of the defendant suggests that he failed to comply with these conditions. The defendant admitted to pretrial services that he used marijuana as recently as the day before his arrest. Automated license plate readers have tracked the defendant's car. The 2017 Nissan Murano with Pennsylvania license plate that he had with him at the time of his arrest was seen in Philadelphia in the middle of the night, for instance, on August 25th, 2022, on September 20th, and on June 12th. The court argued that no conditions will reasonably assure the defendant will not make this choice again, and if released before trial, indeed, the defendant has committed crimes and violated conditions while on pretrial release before. The Fed's arguments would end up being convincing enough for the courts to hold Jeezy without bail until he either pleaded out or went to trial. Arjan Jeezy Low Bennings was sentenced to 42 months in the federal penitentiary. This was a story of a young man who had 1 foot in and 1 foot out of the street. He was able to have the strength at the age of 17 to be faced with 5 attempts and not open his mouth. He had the strength to face the 40 years he was facing and get through it, although with a reduced sentence. He even was strong enough to overcome his felony conviction and was studying to become a law student. His family had money to help him with whatever endeavors he wanted to take in life, but he chose the streets, and he's getting what the streets have to offer right now. I made this video to continue to show that the feds are here and they aren't playing. Those 922G charges are strong and should be a deterrence for carrying guns illegally. But like I said in my last video, people would rather go to jail than get caught without their guns. And let's not even talk about the 922O charges. Those are the charges that you usually get when you're caught with a switch or other illegal attachments. You're getting 10 years plus easy for that, depending on your points. So you have somebody who messed up as a kid, was given a second chance, also messed that up, got the feds involved, probably has the feds watching all his boys now. The pit is definitely on the radar. And if y'all didn't know before, y'all know now. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it there for now. Thanks for watching. This has been American Confidential. And until next time, be safe.